When Duke University a few years ago did a study on the subject of people having peace, they concluded or distilled all the information down to 8 factors that bring peace in people's lives. The list was very interesting because very practical things, but they're things which are found in the New Testament. There are things, well, frankly, which have always been in the Bible, and these people just now figured them out. Anyway, here's one of those peace bringers, the stabilizers of our lives. Here's what they suggested. Find something bigger than yourself to believe in. Self-centered, egotistical people score lowest in any test for measuring happiness. Well, we certainly knew about that, didn't we? What they're saying is you need to believe in God. You need to believe in something bigger than yourself. I love to study the book of Job. It's sad in the first couple of chapters, and through it when you read about all the suffering of Job, and you remember the first couple of chapters, what it says about Satan coming to God and saying, you know, Job, your servant Job, he only serves you because you've heaped so many blessings on him. But if you took away those blessings, he'd curse you to your face. And Job then has all of his possessions taken away, and his family, except for his wife, they're all dead. And then the boils from the top of his head, bottom of his feet. It's awful. He's suffering grievously. And the interesting thing about the book of Job is that he doesn't know why. And so you go through the various chapters and he questions God. I don't understand. I haven't been a wicked man. I'm living righteously. Why am I suffering? The fact is that you and I, when we have read Job chapters 1 and 2, we know more about what was going on than Job, so far as I know, ever learned. We know about the discussions with the devil and that God was testing or trying the faith of Job. We understand all about Job. Job didn't have that information. So Job goes to questioning God. And then in chapter 38, which I suppose is my favorite chapter of the book of Job, God answers the questions, but He doesn't do it in the way that Job expected. I'm in Job chapter 38, and I want to start in the first verse. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who is this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge? Now prepare yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Do you know? Where were you? He says, Has the rain a father? Who hath begotten the drops of dew? Who is it that created the gray silver frost that covers the ground? Where were you when I divided the earth from the waters? And when I put water in the clouds, where were you again when I did all of that? Wait a minute. That's interesting, but Job was just saying, I want to know how come I'm suffering. Why am I facing all of these problems in my life? I'm trying to live righteously, but I'm suffering grievously. Why is that? That's what I'm asking. Job didn't get the response he was looking for. The answer that God gave Job to the question, why am I suffering, was this. Job, you need to remember who I am. I'm God. I created this world. I created you. And your job is to simply trust me. It's sort of reminiscent of what David wrote in Psalm 46 and 10 when he said, Be still and know that I am God. You know, I may not always have peace in my life, but I know where to find it. And the answer is, I must believe in one who is higher than I am. I must be still and know that He is God, and then use my life to serve Him every day to the best of my ability as a simple New Testament Christian. I hope you have a great day.
Speech on. Brightness, 11. Adjust. Screen mirroring. But bright. Select lock rotation. Next track. Button. Lock selected. Screen recording. But